Hello, I'm Sama, this is Figaro, and we would like to talk to you about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and the wrist, because I've found a new product, and I like it, and I think you should know about it. So I have written up some thoughts on the matter, and then I was going to make this video, and then this adorable kitty came and said, "Snuggle me, please, for the love of God." So without further ado, let me tell you about what I found for my wrist. So the problem with my wrist is that I have a lot of, Figo. I have a lot of ulnar pain and laxity, which is this side of the wrist, so the outside. And what my OT suggested was this fella called the Wrist Widget. And it's a very simple design, but it's actually quite brilliant. So on one side it's Velcro, and on the other side it's neoprene. And the way it goes on is very simple. You just thread it through and make a loop. It's easier if you don't have cats. You slip it on, and what you do is this piece here, which actually says Wrist Widget, you fit over that that bone, that condyle. I'm trying not to use too much jargon or anatomy language so that you can just see it. So we fit it over this bone because it does a sort of tracking, kind of keeps that bone situated where it's supposed to be. And you cinch it and stick it. And the same with the other one. Now what I like about this is that, number one, it's an incredibly simple design, so I can change it around. I can resituate it anytime I need to. And it's very easy to fix on the fly. At a glance, it just kind of looks like a funky bracelet or something, which is fine with me. It's very, very comfortable. And what it actually does for me is keeps my bones in my wrist from sliding around so much. It doesn't completely immobilize them like a fiberglass spica splint would do. It just sort of gives it a little bit less deviation. So I can't go into that hyperextension or hyperflexion without feeling it, because I'm going to feel a little bit of tension there. It's important to know that the wrist is one of the most fragile parts of the body because there aren't really muscles around the wrist. You can't bulk it up to sort of strengthen it. You can strengthen the muscles of the arm, but around the wrist itself, there's nothing you can do to really beef up what's loose once it starts to go south. And I am happy to stabilize that where possible. I have very little to no discomfort in actually wearing the Wrist Widget. It's Velcro and neoprene, so it's a very simple design. The Velcro against my skin doesn't feel all that good, but when I try to hyperextend is when I feel it. And so I consider it kind of a positive feedback because it keeps me from doing a bad thing, something I shouldn't be doing. And so that biofeedback kind of helps me gauge where I'm supposed to bend and where I'm not. And it's actually worked out pretty well for me. My dislocations are down because I'm not doing that extra work. One size fits all. It's pretty long. I've got a lot of extra play in the straps. There's no magic in its design. It's easy. It's just simple, and it's easy to transport because it's just a few strips of Velcro. And I think the most important thing for me, other than product design, is product support. An independent occupational therapist designed them and supports them, and I support that. So let's talk about the cons, or what I saw as cons. It's a bit tough to line up the straps over my slippery skin because I have classical EDS that just kind of moves in sheets. So the stitching could also stand to be reinforced. You can see it's, well, maybe you can't see, but you can see it started to come apart a little bit. It doesn't seem like it takes much to fray the sewn edges, but that's a really easy fix, to be honest. They don't help me with dislocations in other directions on my wrists, and I dislocate most often on the ulnar side, so on the outside of the arm. So, I mean, really the improvement is significant, but it's important to know that it's mostly for that, for me. On the left hand, where I'm left-handed, so it means my joints are a little bit looser because they're a little worn, and my thumb hurts a lot more. So I wear my spica splint with it, and it doesn't get in the way, which is nice, but I do want to make sure that I have my thumb protected when I'm wearing this. The other thing that just bugs me, but I mean, I've gotten used to it because my whole world is Velcro, but it catches on my pockets and on my sleeves. So that's something to be aware of, because if you're wearing sweaters or something like that, you know. And the rest of my comments, it doesn't limit my activities. This does. This does not. I mean, I can just keep functioning, really. I've never had to take it off because it was in my way. And I think that's really good in terms of wearing something supportive, because I go through a lot of activities without the support that my joints need because I can't do them with those supports. They're just not designed in a way that I can wear them and do that thing. The cost is on par with other devices that I've seen, and insurance may reimburse you for it. I don't know how long I can expect this piece to last. I've got other neoprene and Velcro devices that have lasted me for years, but there is a little bit of fraying that's going on because I wear them a lot. So, I mean, just the fact that I wear them so much speaks to how well they work for me. But you can see that they start to get really sort of frayed and sloppy looking after a while, but I guess I don't really care because I have stuff to do. I suppose that people who are able to or wish to hide their conditions could dress them up as punky bracelets, or you could wear a bracelet over it, something that's wide banded, or a watch or whatever. So whether that's a plus or minus for you is up to you. And people do think that they're bracelets, so they don't really look orthopedic. And their new design is colorful, so that's cool. And I just got these today. The new designs have color, and the other side is not exactly neoprene. It's sort of a rubberized material, which I'm excited to find out whether or not that will help stabilize my skin. And I really think it will. But it seems like it's kind of a soft rubber. It looks a little bit porous, so I think I'll be able to wear it against my skin without the breakdown that I would expect if I were wearing harder plastic. What else? It doubles as a cat groomer. When I pet my cat, the Velcro sort of grazes and grooms the cat, and I don't think the cat minds, but then, I don't know, our outfits match. So anyway, that's the Wrist Widget, and you can find them at wristwidget.com, and I know there's other places that you can get them, but whatever. I got mine from my OT and from the vendor directly. So I've worn the Wrist Widget at night, and that's worked out nicely for me. Sometimes I'll have to wear a spica splint or another thing at night to keep my wrists from I have a long opponent, one goes all the way up my arm, and I'll wear that when I sleep just to keep my wrist from bending so severely. And I wake up with bruises on my face. It's awful. So this Wrist Widget was a welcome relief to that, for sure. And it was just more comfortable to sleep because I wasn't twisting my arm trying to find a place for this club to rest. So, although that has its place, maybe its place isn't under my pillow. Yeah, that's it for me. I'll let you do the rest of your own homework. Be well.